First, I have to say congratulations on the, I guess, new position. And you got to be excited, especially what's going to be happening as we speak coming up this Saturday. Something that I don't care who you are, everybody at some point in time had stood in front of a mirror, whether they had nothing in their hand or they had a broomstick or they had a tennis racket, always wanted to pretend that they were that guitar rock god. And this Saturday, there are people who get to play this out on a level that is beyond fun. Can you explain to the folks who are listening to this what I'm talking about, please?
Well, you are talking about the Canadian National Air Guitar Championships, which are happening this Saturday in Toronto. And it is this beautifully weird and wacky thing. We've got regional champions from all across the country descending on Toronto, along with some last-minute hopefuls. And they'll be competing to see who is the best air guitarist in all of Canada for the year of 2019. And that winner will be sent to Finland to compete in the World Air Guitar Championships next month in August and represent Canada and hopefully finally bring us a world title.
Now, I was a judge once a couple of years ago for this, so I know how much fun and wacky this is. But for folks who have never been involved with this, what is it exactly? What is air guitar? How can you have a competition with this? And like I said, this is, like, as you said, this is across the nation and around the world. People love doing this.
Yeah, I mean, the World Air Guitar Championships was started in Finland 24 years ago by some high school students who were doing a school project asking themselves, what could we do to further world peace? And their answer was that if you're holding an air guitar, you can't be holding a gun. So if everybody around the world were to air guitar together, we would be solving world peace. And that has spawned this fantastic competition. And it's really, really both everything and nothing that you would expect from something called the World Air Guitar Championships and the Canadian Air Guitar Championships. You get up there on stage, and for 60 seconds, it is your job to serve the biggest air guitar rock god fantasy that you can. And you're scored on a couple of different things, like your technical skill, your costume and your character, your ability to be able to be taken over by the music, and just how convincing the actual illusion of your guitar is. But really, it's about the airness, which is just a je ne sais quoi quality that lets you know that you are looking at the next champion. And one by one, everybody just rocks out for their 1 minute of glory. And from there, we pick the next best champion.
Okay, you said something that I think is extremely important, costumes. People go all out. I mean, they sometimes go really high-tech for this stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, I was the 2017 champion before taking over this year as one of the organizers. And I, painted my whole body and made a costume and glued rhinestones and studded spikes to my face. And it took me like an hour and a half just to do the makeup every single time I wanted to compete. So people invest some real energy. People have wings. People have pyrotechnics. People have stunts ready to go. It's just incredible, all the stops that people will pull out and all of the skills that these people you never would have known they had unless you ask them to do this wacky, incredible thing that really brings out their creative side.
Now, what does the ages range? Because I know there are, some folks are in 20s and some much older, too.
Well, I mean, you've got to be at least 19 to compete since we are doing it at a bar. But really, air guitar is for everybody. Mr. Bob is the world's most air guitar legend. He's the oldest air guitarist in the world, and he's well into his 60s, still doing this every year. And so it's really, there's no limit. It's the only limit is as much as you want to put on yourself, because everybody is welcome in the world of air guitar. That's the whole point. We all know that this is a very silly, stupid thing to do, and that's the best part, is to just not take yourself too seriously and act like a kid again, no matter how old you are.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. It's like whatever worries you had that day, it's all forgotten. It is an absolute blast. And you kind of explained it before, but I'm going to ask you again, though, what does the winner get and what happens afterwards?
So the winner is going to be getting a fantastic trophy created by Calgary champion Cat Friday. I've even got mine from 2017 still hanging on my wall. And they'll be getting a trip to Finland in order to compete in the World Air Guitar Championships in Oulu. And this will be the 24th World Air Guitar Championships. They're going to have an amazing week full of events with all of these other competitors from all over the world. You'll spend a lot of time in the sauna, and you'll meet some absolutely fantastic international characters and become a permanent fixture of the World Air Guitar family.
No, I'm trying to remember. Is there a charity part of this too?
There absolutely is. So here in Air Guitar Canada, it's something that's really unique about us compared to other air guitar organizations around the world, is that we do everything for charity. We're 100% volunteer run. Nobody's making a profit off of this. And what we do is that everything above our expenses gets donated to our charity partner of choice. And this year, our chosen charity partner is Music Counts, and they run children's music programs all across the country. So we've been enjoying saying that we're playing fake instruments in order to put the real instruments in the hands of kids across Canada.
I am a massive fan of them. I am so glad you're part of that. Wow, that's absolutely amazing. So, are tickets sold out? Because I know that it can go really fast. Are tickets still available? Where's it going to be, and what time does the fun kick off?
We do still have some tickets available. You can get them on our website. We've also got a Facebook page and an Instagram. Everything's under Air Guitar Canada. So there are still some tickets left, but make sure you grab them quickly because you're right, this thing does fill up. It's on this Saturday, July 13th at 7 o'clock at the Mod Club Theatre in Toronto. You can maybe show up at the door and get lucky, but, your best bet is probably to buy some tickets in advance and really make sure that you are going to be there for the greatest show in Canada.
Absolutely. And one last thing before, well, actually two. Number one, if somebody who's just hearing this now goes, I'd love to try this out, what can they do for next year? And two, what advice, since you have a trophy, what advice can you give our competitors too?
Well, so if they're sitting there in the position that I was a couple of years ago, hearing about this for the first time and going, oh my God, I have to do this, you want to follow us on social media so that you are going to get information about where the next regional championship closest to you is going to be next year. We have them in this year. We've got people coming from Ottawa and Toronto and Montreal and Calgary and Saskatoon and Kamloops. We try to get people from all over the country. So keep your ear to the ground for where the regional championship near you is, because that is the guaranteed way to get yourself to the national final. And my word of advice for new air guitar competitors is, take it seriously enough that you give it an effort, give it a good try, but don't take it so seriously that you don't have fun. Because if you are up there just living your fantasy, having an amazing time, that audience and those judges are going to feel your energy, and they're going to have an awesome time along with you. And that's really the best part of it. That's where the magic happens, when you are just living it and having your best moment and giving us that rock star fantasy. That's what I love to see. That's what the judges love to see. And maybe you could be the next Canadian air guitar champion, which is a great story to tell at parties.
Wow. Who knows? Maybe one day I might be an air guitar god. You never know.
You got to come compete.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time for doing this. Thank you so much for what you guys are doing, not just for living out people's dreams, but giving back to charity too. Cannot wait. This Saturday is going to, quote unquote, rock.
Thanks for having me.